What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are going to take a look at the New York Islanders. The Islanders have a different identity, as now Matthew Darche, the new general manager of the New York Islanders, comes in, and of course they start sounding the horn when I start my video, but that's besides the point. So the Islanders ended the draft with the first overall pick, the 16th. Wait, was it the 16th and 17th? I think that's where they selected. Yeah, 16 and 17. So 16 and 17. They did really well. So with the first pick, Matthew Schaefer goes off the board, and I said this in my my kind of recapping the first round of the NHL draft. Matthew Schaefer is the first Islanders selection they've had, first overall as a defenseman. It says Denis Potvin. And I think there is a lot of similar attributes to what we're seeing in Matthew Schaefer that could potentially be the next Denis Potvin on the Islanders. He is that type of player. He's gone through a lot at a young age, at just 17 years old. Prayers out to his family and his mom, who passed away of cancer. Everybody was cheering on Matthew Schaefer that night. And as much as it was a magical, surreal, emotional moment, it obviously is something that, it's something that, if you want to turn it into a positive, is going to help Matthew Schaefer mature into a legit NHL player. And, making light of darkness is very difficult. And life is horrible. And there's a lot of things that can really not go your way in life. And Matthew Schaefer's seen that at such a young age. He has his family support behind him. He has everybody around him supporting him. Like, this is a really young, mature man. And I think we can all say that safely. As much as he's a kid, he is becoming a man at a very young age. And I think, like I said, I think with the kind of the perception of the Islanders around the league over the last couple years has been they're boring, they're nasty, they're cheap hitters and nasty and this and that, and there's no skill, they can't score, this and that. The entire complexity of the Islanders seems to have changed on that first day of the draft. A lot of people have changed their favor toward the Islanders as a team that is much viled and hated, and now becoming a team that is maybe more a team people want to cheer for. They want to cheer for Matthew Schaefer. And then you consider who the Islanders picked up with Eklund and Aitchison, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I really wanted to give the time to what the Islanders did with Matthew Schaefer, because that is a pivotal moment in this team's franchise shift. The shift away from Lou Lamoriello, the shift away from sort of how the Islanders have been. And we're starting to talk about more what the Islanders are going to be in the future. And I think Matthew Darche made a very important decision moving on from Noah Dobson, because you have to think of it in a couple of different ways. The Islanders saved $9.5 million off the cap hit by moving on from Dobson, and they also acquired 3 prospects. And you have to remember, it was the 16th and the 17th pick in this year's draft. And they also selected, they took Emil Niemi or something like that, who he has bounced all over the league. A lot of teams, a lot of the report I've heard from teams, specifically the Montreal Canadiens, they liked him as a prospect. And this is another guy that, if the Islanders are trying to kind of, toe the line of the Panthers' blueprint, taking Aitchison, a big, tough defenseman. Hinneman is also known as a guy, he's got a great shot, he's physical, he likes to play dirty. I think those are the attributes that Matthew Darche is trying to develop with this Islanders team. And I think it makes a lot of sense with what they did, picking up Aitchison. He's a big defenseman, like I said. He played with the Barrie Colts of the OHL. We've seen some pretty good defensemen come from there recently. Aaron Ekblad, he was a member of the Barrie Colts before he was selected by the Panthers. Victor Eklund, his brother William Eklund, playing on the San Jose Sharks. His older brother has a lot of NHL, development and experience so far in his young career. I think that's going to only bode well for Victor as he develops into the NHL. That's the only forward the Islanders selected of the 3 picks, but that's okay. The Islanders have a couple of good young forwards already. I mean, let's not forget, they have, Ritchie, Yzerman, and then you consider some of the even lesser guys that are playing in the AHL now that might develop into decent bottom 6 players. Like, this is a changing of the guard for the Islanders. And then when you consider Aitchison and Schaefer coming in, this is a team that's developing in a different direction. And I think that instead of continuing to be a team that's good enough just to make the playoffs and get beat in the first round by the Hurricanes, the Islanders are realizing that maybe we need to take one step back to take 2 or 3 steps forward. And I think that Matthew Darche being a new kind of, seeing a new vision and a new ideology on this team is exactly what the Islanders needed. And I have to say, as an Islander fan, everything that's happened since the end of this season, I have been happy with. The fact they got Matthew Darche, keeping Patrick Roy another year. I don't necessarily think Patrick Roy was the problem with the Islanders. I think there was just so many philosophical issues with Lou Lamoriello. I think we're going to see a different type of team with Patrick Roy under this new regime with Matthew Darche. They're going to be more open, playing more of an open style hockey like everybody's been hoping to see. I think these are things that are going to be only good for the Islanders and be a benefit to them moving forward. And I think when you consider what the Islanders have coming in the pipeline, I mean, look at who they already have. They have Matt Barzal, Bo Horvat. These are good hockey players that can play right now. And you consider the complementary pieces coming in that are going to be the next superstars of the Islanders, like Ritchie and Yzerman and Eklund and Aitchison and, of course, Matthew Schaefer. They have a very good locker room. And that was one of the things that Matthew Schaefer said on draft day was, I've heard a lot of good things about the Islanders franchise and this and that, like everybody says. But he mentioned that the Islanders have a very good locker room. They have a lot of veterans in there that really keep things in control, that keep things, like this is a tight-knit family group. And the Islanders have been that way. I mean, really since that 2020, 2021 run, the Islanders have had a tight-knit group. And they've mostly kept that group intact for better or for worse. But that is a really strong nucleus on Long Island. And the Islanders are going to be adding some really good players to an already good culture. This is a really good thing for some of these guys. So that is going to do it for today. I really appreciate you guys watching today's video. It's been a minute since I've been making videos, but I think the renewed excitement for the Islanders and this season, we're going to see a lot of fireworks, not just on 4th of July, but this entire week with the draft, free agency. Things are really going to be picking up quickly. I think we're going to see a couple of interesting trades, trying to move out salary, to move things around. It is going to be quite a spectacle, and I'm really ready for it. And I hope you guys are as well. There's going to be a lot happening, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this content if you want to see more of it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Let's go, Islanders!